We get our very first game of the WGL 2020 Summer Edition. $70,000 and the new World Championship on the line. Alice versus Sock to open up Group A. And yeah, it is Alice, the underdog, making his return after 4 years. He surprised us all in the wildcard qualifier. Like, the story of Alice is rather wild. He only played 2 of the 3 qualifiers for WGL. Always the open one. In April, he didn't even play. He was always eliminated in the round of 16. Like, from this format, he shouldn't be here. Not at all. Like, he didn't show consistency. He didn't impress us in non-goal tournaments. But that wildcard qualifier where he defeated Meteor, Fortitude, and Czech without dropping a single map earned him the spot to be here. Can he surprise us all again?
Would be a wonderful story if Alice, out of nowhere, not only impresses us in the wildcard, but here getting out of this crazy Group A. And this is where that miracle story would begin. Against Sock.
Speaking of miracle stories, Remo, do you know what happened when he played his first Gold League?
No.
He kicked out TH.
Oh, yeah, true.
Of the round of 16. That's still one of the biggest upsets in Gold League history. And that was due to Alice. Let's see if he can recreate the magic. Let's see if he does stand a chance. Sock, he had a decent year, winning WSB in the early stages, 3rd place in the Huya Super League, 4th place in AWL, 2nd place in the 2nd WSB, but never the big finals. That's it. 3rd place in next summer as well. That was his standout performance. Losing 0-2 to 1-2-0 there. But now, different matchup. For once, he comes into this as the favorite. His goal is the top 4. And the road starts with Alice.
On Terra's stand. A new day's classic in this matchup. Normally, this always will mean Warden versus MK, expansion play, late game. Lots of amazing games were seen on this map, but you have to make sure you get off to a good early start. And that's normally accomplished with the Merc Camp to start things off. Both Warden and MK very level-hungry heroes, creep-hungry heroes, and Terra's stand, the best map to guarantee that.
Chat, could you tell me if the sound is alright? Because I have no sound at all. So let me know if it's fine for you or if I have to boost it. Okay, we got the typical Mountain King Warden opening. No surprise here. No pocket strats by either of the players. And they met on the CC Masters already. There it was a 2-1 for Sock in the round of 16. Wasn't a big surprise at all, and it wasn't even hard fought. Oh, Warden gets the Shadow Priest that was stolen by Sock. So, first little exclamation mark by both of the players, actually. Alice being sneaky, stealing this one away. Sock punishing this, the Warden punishing this.
Yeah, the MK got a little bit of bonus experience. I think the Footy stole a last hit, or it was perhaps the Shadow Priest. So the MK moves on to level 3, where of course he will start becoming powerful. Item-wise, it's the Wand of Mana Stealing, good for the MK, and double good against the Warden. Whereas the Warden herself got the big Invul Potion. Perhaps that can also be used for Harass. We know there's going to be an expansion coming. Fast Expo here for the human, whilst also getting to level 3. Wardens nowadays normally don't play so aggressively against that anymore, but it looks like Alice wants to.
Alright. No harass. This was not the 15 sway route, it's not the normal route. So he will be harassed by the Warden, and here she comes. How much damage is she able to do? So far, hesitant. Mountain King gets to level 3. Invo Potion popped.
And I'm not sure if he got any of the last hits.
No. He didn't get anything.
This did not work out. And the MK is just counting the seconds that he can throw the Stormbolt.
Yep. Invo Potion is about to be over here. Telestaff, alright. So she will get out and prevents the MK from an early harass. But yeah, if you sacrifice your time, the third resource in Warcraft, or the fourth next to experience, to walk all the way across a big map like Terranar Stand, you have to get something done once you arrive, and that didn't happen. I feel like Sock didn't even have to play around that too hard.
Yeah, what was his hope? Like, hopefully blinking in and then getting this steal on the big creep, but that's rather unlikely. He got the staff stolen away. He was able to keep that away from the MK, and that limits his mobility. That's a big deal. And double Berserker for Alice. So with that, he can creep pretty quickly. Expensive mercenaries from the early game. They can certainly be very helpful. But also our favorite targets for the Mountain King. So Alice is going to have to be careful with how he uses these Berserkers and where he moves.
Yeah, they could be the X factor for sure. Stealing that damage dealer away helps him. Also for creeping. Does not use an Engine of War for the shop, so Warden does take quite some damage. Will move over to the natural, and that is finally level 3. I would love to have an in-game timer, but that is a very late level 3 Warden.
Needs 1 or 2 more last hits. Oh, the footy there could give it to her. Very close now indeed, but the MK, even without boots or staff, he walked the entire way across the map. He's got the time. I guess he's waiting for the expansion to come up, which at this point should be finished. And this is always a difficult state for the Night Elf. The MK is level 3 with a Stormbolt. He can kill so many things in the Night Elf. How does he get out of this contain here without losing too much?
Yeah, that's a good question. Sock, the entire world is talking about the human position in Warcraft right now. Are they championship material as a seemingly weak race? So far, he doesn't have any problems with this. And yeah, it's exactly what you say. He contains him. Alice can't really do anything. The Warden isn't unfolding, not even level 3. And Sock looks like he's just in full control.
Yeah, he's not getting over-eager here. He is not feeling the need to dive into the base. Diving into the Moonwell is a quick way to give away your momentum. As long as the Warden isn't creeping, is not level 3, and is not opening up the natural, this is fine for Sock. It's a very unnatural feeling oftentimes for pro players where you always want to be efficient on the map. You want to creep. You want to accelerate. You want to get stronger. But sometimes it's fine to just chill and wait if you force your opponent to be so passive at the same time. Sock is showing a lot of patience here.
Yeah, and why not? He's sitting on this expansion. He's getting rich. He's gonna tech up. And from what I can see now, is gonna destroy Alice then. Who really needs a strong timing. This is not the Alice of the wildcard qualifier. This is not the Alice that kind of manhandled Fortitude there. Maybe it's the nerfs, you know? First big tournament in 4 or 5 years. It should be a little easier playing from home instead of with a big stage, but still, a lot of money on the line. Sock is getting a Shredder to help out with the lumber economy and a Zeppelin, so this could also be a drop. Or just defense mechanism against the Warden harasses. Sobi Mask.
This game is going amazingly for Sock. He took 0 damage. There's no counter expo. This Warden is not out of control at all. Now finally the Warden is getting some kills. Or is she? With a Zeppelin. Perhaps it's not that easy. She's gonna get 1 footy. But defense is ready. And that reflects the Dryad Spears onto themselves where they start slowing themselves. So things become weird for Alice. But with a Fan of Knives, he's strong enough and will finally be able to force back Sock. But not before losing 1. Oh, save the Dryad. Maybe?
Run! Little deer. It was a bash. A little lucky. But oh, I think the movement is correct. Yeah, this Dryad will fall. And with that, pretty close to level 4.
Continuous great scouting here from Sock with his footies. 1 again is in the south, looking for the counter expansion. It's still not coming. 3rd Berserker for Alice. He is investing heavily onto piercing damage. With these expensive units, and we see Sock is just progressing to tier 3, is gonna get his high tech rolling soon. And honestly, there's so many routes he can go down. He could go Knights and Mortars, he could go Rifle Priest, he could go tanks even if he wants, he could even go air with Griffins or Dragonhawks. The world is his oyster. He could play so many different things, he could even play Mass Gyros, and I don't know, he's gonna be able to decide soon what he wants.
Do you think he sees it that way as well? I don't see Sock joking around. I don't see him play Mass Dragonhawks or Invisible Mortars or just for the lulz, you know. I think he knows that this group is going to be pretty tough, and maybe you want to send an exclamation mark to your future opponents on day 3 when it's about the winner bracket final or the loser bracket semifinal. So no crack in the shield to be shown here. Solid game so far, and double workshop and Sanctum plus tier 3.
Double workshop Sanctum.
Yeah.
What's that? That's not Invis Mortar teams, is it?
I thought the same. Like I said, he's not going to play in with Mortar Team something, and then I saw this build and I'm like, maybe?
If you play these strats, it doesn't just have to be trolling. Like, if you're really far ahead, Mass Dragonhawks is actually pretty good, for example. Mass Gyros can be pretty good if you play it well. But this Sanctum here is confusing me. Lots of options. Tanks, always good. In this situation, when you're up base and trying to keep your opponent from creeping. What Alice needs is a level 5 Warden with her to create space and to buy space for the second hero, either Panda or Tinker. And if you get that, this game can still be recoverable. However, he's far away from that. The Warden is about to hit 4, but making that journey from level 4 to level 5 takes a good while.
Yeah, and there's not too much left on the map. We take a look at the workshops. What is it? It's a Blood Mage against the Warden. Always a good pick. Ro now wants to deal with one of these workshops. Still doesn't reveal a strategy. Now we see production starting. Okay, tanks. He wants to make really sure.
Yeah, we didn't see Gyros on the way to tier 2, so I guess it had to be tanks. Third workshop coming up in the back in case he loses the one in front. The Warden is able to force back the Zeppelin here finally. And that is going to be the Tree of Life beginning to mine soon. But man, did that take a long time.
Do you have the lags as well?
I had a lag for like 2 seconds, but now it's okay.
Alright. I got spikes. Might be.
Yeah, we're using a clean feed stream here, provided by the Chinese production, so that is out of our hands, unfortunately, guys. Hopefully, this runs somewhat stably. Tanks are beginning to come out, but this little bear attack in the north is finding some damage. Got one workshop, is even able to take out a tank right now, and this tank strategy so far is not looking too overwhelming.
No, good timing by Alice. Oh, wow. It's pretty much PowerPoint to me right now. He found a good timing to kill the workshop. That's the most important thing, and that's kind of what Foggy did in the past as well. When you face tanks and you know that you're going to be under a lot of pressure, try to deal with the workshops as fast as possible. And that's exactly what Alice is doing.
The triple hero human is going to be available soon, though. The paladin is going to be coming out, and with that there's going to be heal and a lot more support for the MK and this whole human defense. Alice is staying in, but the Warden is now pretty much out of mana. Here's the paladin. We have the Holy Light. Some mortar teams would help tremendously, but I think Sok is still only making making tanks, I guess. We have some breakers now coming in as well, able to steal some roar. But the MK is in trouble. This is suddenly a lot of damage, and this does now reach, the Warden does reach level 5 here finally. Has to blink out, too much damage, and Sok is under a surprising amount of pressure here in his name.
Alright. That was a lot better than expected for Alice. So I'm trying to deal with the production at the moment.
Alrighty. Sok now finally can move out of his base again. MK is almost 5, but it seems like the tank assault was held pretty well. The expo is still standing. Tanks didn't really reach, and suddenly Alice is in an alright position, maybe? This would oftentimes be the stage in the game where the Night Elf, with having reached level 5 Warden, goes for a second hero, starts creeping up the rest of the map, and the Warden with the Blink Fan Harass will be assaulting the economy. Peasants with that can oftentimes start dying very quickly if they don't have Zeppelin support to help them out. We see some tank drops coming in, but it's not that many tanks, not that much upgraded yet. It's mostly distraction for Sok to keep on creeping with his triple hero combo and even trying to establish a third base in the top right. 3 bases is normally quite wild in Warcraft, but on Terranas, it happens quite a bit actually, with humans expanding early and then expanding again in the late game when the tanks are buying the space.
Warden fun begins. I got it confirmed, by the way, that we will be in-game from the next map on, because this is, of course, unwatchable for all of us. I think Sok just wanted to have a clean way to finish this and kind of misspeculated. Alice finding a good reaction. And now, closer and closer to level 6, the Warden fun party begins, jumping into the base. And he's reacting really well to this tank play.
Yeah, absolutely. Ancients of War in position. Demon Hunter, who's not too bad against tanks either. He's only level 1, so he's not that strong yet, but if he gets to level 3, level 4, he can do a pretty decent job. Sok now collapsing with pretty much everything towards the expansion. The army is here, the tanks are here. If Alice can hold this, this might not be looking too hard for him, but this is not going to be an easy hold. MK, though, does get level 5. With that, he does become very powerful indeed. Sok is going to TP out. Doesn't like the way this fight is looking anymore. The tanks have been dealt with, and Alice holds on to his 2 bases. Tanks in the main also fended off with the bears.
And Alice has the supply lead now. Alice has the level lead. This is really interesting. Okay, how bad is the lag for you? Maybe it's just me. Is it okay?
For me, it's not lagging at the moment.
Not lagging?
No.
That's interesting.
Do you have it open in VLC?
In OBS.
I opened it in VLC. And there it's working pretty well.
Let's increase the buffer.
Alice now continuing to creep as well. In the bottom left of Terranas, there's still a few camps to be claimed. The expansion, oh, it was not cancelled, but progress was halted by the Warden here. Very close to being finished, that third base for Sok in the top right. Got a lot of towers there, even cannon towers. But yeah, Sok is still not at 80 supply, not with his crazy hero levels yet, but he's starting to get there. 5-2-2 on MK, Blood Mage, Paladin. If he gets to 5-3-3, that late game hero combo becomes insanely powerful. But also the Warden, of course, a late game powerhouse, and she is getting closer and closer to level 6.
Alright, I guess it's fixed for now. And I'm focusing on the game now as well. Oh, stressful start to this tournament for a producer slash caster. So, how bad is it for Sok at the moment? He's still on 3 bases, right?
Yeah, I think it's okay. He's still got a slight supply lead. His heroes are starting to get there. He is on 3 bases and he's mining pretty well. Would love to find a few more level ups, but the map is pretty much crept. But most importantly, Alice didn't make it to 3 bases himself. Only on 2. We even have a few gyros in the mix. Just for building harass, or what is their purpose?
Maybe he doesn't... Like, a lot of scouting can be done with gyros, of course. It's good against Zeppelins. And it enables his own Zeppelin play when he takes out the hippos easy.
They are, in the ultra late game, also pretty good against chimps, but I think we're still far away from that point. Warden has been spotted, moving towards the main. Is there a Zeppelin here around to protect the peasants, is the question. We saw a few Zeppelins earlier. And here now we see the Gyros harassing into the main, abusing the fact that there's no AoE from Panda or Tinker to threaten them very well. Instead, it's only the Demon and Dryads with a few right clicks, which can't take out the Gyros too quickly.
Remo,
but the Warden can certainly take out the Peasants quick.
I keep on telling you, man, mass Gyros with the flat cannons on tier 2, you know, they're unstoppable. Unstoppable force. But to be fair, Gyros, there's no real counter in the Night Elf arsenal. Usually you rely on a hero, that would be the Panda, for example. If you build hippos, you need a lot, and then there's flag cannons, and you just gun that down. What else is there? Dryads? Also not really. It's tough to make the call. What counters Gyros?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, they don't have good targets to attack the Gyros. They're mostly good against air, which Alice doesn't really have. But here we go again towards the expansion. Gyros and tanks against the buildings, and the rest of the army for Sock fighting against the bears. But it's a lot of bears. It's not so easy for him to take this fight, even with his pretty strong heroes. If the Pally gets to level 3, though, that's going to be a big level up, and he's very close to that now. The Siphon mana coming in big. The Warden completely out of mana. That is the strength of the level 2 Siphon right now.
Oh boy, Warden almost falling there after being focused right away. And that's a TP out. What can Sock do with that time? Alice needs time to heal. He's stemming against his Dryads. Try to take care with the with the tanks and the Gyros. Ooh, it's so close. It's real close. The tank is gone. With that, the siege damage, but the Knight's coming with normal damage, trying to finish this, but it looks like Alice holds. For now, at least. Anti-magic, fan of knives. One Knight about to drop, but the Paladin is there for the rescue. Mountain King, slowed, mana burned as well. Can he reach for something? Oh man, this Paladin. Always there with the Holy Light.
1 kill away is the Warden from 6.
That's it. Breaker. Got it.
Oh yeah.
Seems like we have a little bit of like we're not in sync.
Yeah, you're a bit ahead of me.
Alright.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. Alice is not only saving his second base, he's also saving his third base. And this game was kind of over after 8 minutes. We thought. Poor Warden, poor economy, no success early. And everything looks so different. But you can move out of a tank play relatively easy. You have another unit in the workshop that is mortar teams. And mortar teams wreck Dryads if they're left alone.
Exactly. The difficulty is going to be keeping those more teams alive against the Blink fanning Warden. But against that, heal scrolls can help. Zeppelins can help. Sock now needs to find the transition. And honestly, this whole tank strategy game for him hasn't worked out so well just yet. The Gyros, also kind of a questionable choice. More and more of the Gyros are going down now. We don't have too many left. But the Warden is still at it. Still in the expansion. And I have to ask, why is there no Zeppelin here? There's supposed to be Zeppelins right here to protect against this Warden harass.
Yeah, he had one. But I guess the one Hippogriff dealt with it. Super high economy game now. Who's building the better army? Who's maxing out earlier?
The Paladin got level 3 somewhere. That's a really big deal.
Ooh, we got another fight right now. Demon Hunter down to 60% already. Big Bear frontline. What's the Warden doing? There she is with the Avatar of Vengeance, diving for the mortar teams. And without these mortar teams, where's the damage? It's definitely on the Demon Hunter who's about to fall, but the Staff of Sanctuary is there. Warden continues the focus, continues the rampage. And this is a TP out for Sock. The Korean struggling. He just can't break Alice.
Yeah, and I think one of the big reasons is he's fighting against mass bears, but he doesn't have clap.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this until now.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's just Bash.
You start off with Stormbolt and Bash, yeah, but then you retrain at some point to go into the crazy powerful level 3 clap in the late game. But Sock hasn't done this, and it's not like gold should have been his issue. He was on 3 bases. Now he's down to 2 bases. The mains have run dry. The Bears are, by the way, crazy strong with 3-1. There we go. That was the Tome of Retraining finally on the MK.
Yeah.
But that's pretty damn late, to be honest.
Okay. This will be a crazy damage increase, though, with that Clap 3. And there's no Alchemist here to heal against this. At the moment, Alice has 1 heal scroll exactly. This could be a game-winning move. Just reading a book.
I'd love to know the upgrades on the knights. We have seen how strong the bears are. If the knights can't follow with the upgrades, they will still have a very tough time. And I think it was mostly tanks and gyros upgraded so far.
Didn't catch that, unfortunately. Okay, both at 80. Is one willing to break up to 100? We've seen a lot of Night Elves going for Chimeras in the very end of the game to finish it. Sok, Yumiko style, building some towers. Oh boy. And here we see the impact of the clap. Really, really strong. And again, there's only 1 heal scroll. Can he still fight through this? Mana's looking crazy good on the Mountain King. And with that one little change, he seems to dominate this fight. The bears are all down to 30%, 40%. Warden is super low as well. Has to be staffed out of that fight now. Not too many corpses for the spirits. And this time he's unable to snipe the mortar teams. Oh my god. Call Peter. These bears are in deep trouble. Mountain King though. Is their staff ready? No! What the hell? All of a sudden, the game is turning its head again. Sok is losing everything. MK dead. Alice with 1,000,000 spirits. 3 bears about to drop. Wait, what died there? What's that, Ankh?
Ah, yeah, that was an Ankh. MK is back, but low HP now. Getting more mana from the Zoe mask. But this Avatar of Vengeance should be breaking this little tower container.
2 tanks though at the expansion. Sorry for the confusion. Gotta get used to this again. Oh my. Sok, what is this game? Turning back and forth here. Try to do a little tank ambush to the Naturalist. The main is mined out. But Sok is pretty much down to only the heroes at the moment. While Alice is still at 70 supply and 1,000 gold.
Yeah, Sok is under tons of pressure here, by the way, because his natural is going to expire soon, whereas Alice's is going to be up and mining for a really long time. Sok has to make the plays now.
And what is that? And with what? He has 2 bases. He can still build a great army if Alice gives him the time. He is creating problems at the natural, at the expansion. He is keeping Alice busy, so there's not this one big Night Elf despot coming. And it's not the Warden ruining his economy. So he's doing that pretty well to buy time for his army. But what is the answer to this?
It says that Sok has 80 supply, but where the hell is all that supply? I don't see it. There's a few gyros flying in the main. The major standing army there of heroes and knights and breakers isn't that big. Does he have like 5 tanks hidden somewhere?
There is something above Alice's base, but we have another fight here. Bear taken out. This doesn't look like the strong force we've seen before. And what's the hero kill potential? The mana for Alice is super low. And the clap again. Staff last second. Demon Hunter saved with 12. But what's left to save here? Not much, I would say. Invulnerability on the Paladin. He saved no mana on the Warden. No items either. And the Mountain King. This clap change was everything.
So absolutely. Rough. Not going for it soon enough. Almost cost him. But it seems like now, finally, Sok has the game.
Yeah, I think so too. The Knights are catching up with everything. He's putting up pressure with gyros in the main. And Alice can't put out the fires anymore. Sok was struggling quite hard, but I think he got this under control now. Still tanks. So important to have 1 or 2 tanks. No, almost no repair anymore after this clap of the MK. Is that another turnaround? Demon Hunter on the verge of dying as well. There is a Staff of Sanctuary. Sok calculating this well. What? Oh, the tree! Not much HP left! And there goes the 3rd base of Alice. His natural was taken a lot later than the natural of Sok, so that might be saving him. And he's 400 gold, so he can establish a new tree. But Alice is struggling hard.
Yeah, this was really expensive. Down to 1 mining base now, only is Alice. And this Demon Hunter, at this super late stage, he doesn't even feel that good anymore. We could see it in the last fight. The Blood Mage really took over. He won the mana burn war. The Demon Hunter is going to run out of mana at some point, and then the Blood Mage keeps on siphoning and keeps on supplying his first and third hero. Normally, when we see this Night Elf strategy, the strongest, it's with Warden and Tinker. But here Alice is playing Warden and Demon, and for a while it looked good. But now it's looking really rough indeed. 46 supply against 73.
If the Demon Hunter gets to 5, can he outburn the MK so Clap isn't a threat anymore?
I don't even think so. I think he runs in, uses the burn, and he gets siphoned right away. Then he has probably one more burn left, but then he gets siphoned again, and that's it. That is some good mana burn, but over long enough of a period, I think it should be still Sock coming out ahead in the mana department.
I guess potions should be the key here. Tree waddling back. He wanted to expand bottom left. Sock is only on one base at the moment as the natural collapses. But it's so smart to attack from the left and use the tanks on the right-hand side. Where to go now? Where to answer?
Yeah, Sock with his little pokes and prods everywhere with the tanks and gyros this game. Very obnoxious and hard to deal with for Alice. And now standing on the bridge, even gets the surround on the Avatar. Needs to staff it out.
Nope, just falls. And
the fresh Avatar as well.
Yeah, that will take forever. Alice, 50 supply. He's also supply stuck because the tanks take out one building after the next. It's still pretty incredible how Alice found back into this game after this early game. Level 5 Demon Hunter now. But Sock took control. And without the Avatar, he's hiding behind the trees to let Sock run into this. He's calling all the trees, but Sock's like, okay, man, if you don't want to fight, if you don't want to end this, I got used to being rich. I had 2.5k gold in this game. I want to go there again. And he claims the bottom left gold mine for himself.
Yeah, and how hard is it now to engage into this? Across the bridge, where towers are going to be up, and a shop against 5/4/4 heroes. Admittedly, with a Warden level 6, but a Warden level 6 is not everything.
Sometimes it's not. That's very true. Focus on the entangled gold mine. Falls as well. No income. This is a Hail Mary fight for Alice, but his trees are not even in there. Focus fire on the Mountain King, of course, but the Warden drops down to 1/3. Can't out-damage all of this. Warden falls, and that's GG. Sock takes map number 1.
All right. Ends the way I guess we expected it after the early game, but man, Alice making him work for it, making Sock sweat in that game, and there were some opportunities where perhaps he could have been able to take it over, but man, what a swing was that Tomo free training into Clap. That was completely insane.
That was a game-winning move. That was the game-winning move. Yeah. Before he was struggling in every single fight, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, Clap still pretty damn good against melee units.
And what, at that point, was there an answer to this anymore?
I think if you have a better second hero, you can still have a decent fight there.
Yeah, but that was late. Like, the decision to go for Clap was there, or was made when the Demon Hunter was already there. I'm thinking from this point on, from the Tomo training moment on. Can you do something if you're Alice?
With a Demon second? I don't think so.
Yeah, right. It looked super rough. Dodging fights as Night Elf against tanks, knights also. But what can you really do? Chimeras, I guess? But that's so expensive and takes so much time. Yeah. And is easily counted. There were like 8 gyros already.
Yeah, Chims, they only ever sound good. They're never actually good. Unless you are miles and miles and miles ahead.
I mean, they do create a threat against the structures and can be used for distraction to relieve the pressure. Against tanks, they're sometimes nice as well. Holy smokes! Wheelhouse with a 10,000 bit donation. Jesus Christ, I've never seen so many bits in one place. What's up, guys? Great casting. Thank you for being awesome. WGL, the best time We see the highlights here as well. Tanks, gyros, knights, everything, everywhere.
Yeah, macro-wise, it's not easy for the human, by the way, playing this game. Having the right transitions. Early game, expanding into harass, into tier 3, into tanks, into knights, into triple hero, into creeping. Like when Infi and TH play this, it oftentimes looks overpowered and super easy, but it's not. You make 2 tanks too many, it's gonna be rough for you. You make 2 tanks too few, it's gonna be too easy for the Night Elf. So it's a lot about macro in this kind of game. And it looked like almost it was slipping away from Sock. Like you can see here right there in this fight. He's getting owned in this fight by the bears and the dryads. But later on, when the clap is there, it suddenly turns around. And that was also one crazy impactful Ankh, where the MK died. But
came as quite the surprise, this Ankh. I kind of forgot about the Ankh, but whatever. Okay. As I said, right, in our pre-show with Snokus, closer than most people expected. At least 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. When the Warden gets to the super late game and you have high bear numbers, the Night Elf can still look dangerous. But this was perhaps the only, most likely the only game that's going to look like this. Triple base, ultra late game with the whole tech tree developed. How many Knights upgrades did we have at the end? It was 5 or 6. So crazy long game. The Shredder there doing an excellent job. The remaining maps we have are Echo Isles and Northern Isles. And those are usually not so favoring 3 base. Certainly not Echo Isles.
Yeah. I mean, you can still play tanks on Echo Isles. If you're Fortitude, you can play it on Northern Isles as well. But this should be more straight up. Or is it the human thinking that they have to go back to the dirty times? That they have to go back. We heard it from Infi in one of the pre-match interviews. You will feel my towers. Is it time to go back to tanks and towers like 2008?
Possibly, yes, but normally nowadays you can't really kill the pro players anymore with 2 base tanks and towers. Normally you play them to get to a 3rd base. On Northern Isles, might be possible. On Echo, not so much. In general, I feel like Echo is a really rough map for humans nowadays. Good Warden map, easy level 3, good leveling, thanks to Agent of War creeping, and no lab. No Shredder for you as the human. No Zeppelin to protect your peasants. I have seen, especially in the hands of Lawliot, the Warden take over so many games on Echo Isles that I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't get vetoed more nowadays. But I guess human doesn't have the easiest time with a map pool these days.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, we're gonna get into map number 2 in a bit in the first series. Lawliot, of course, playing later against 1-0. The next match, actually, second match in Group A. But as Sock, what's your thinking now? You had this game in the palm of your hand after like 5 minutes, and then you kind of enabled Alice back.
Yeah.
But then you gained control in the late game again. So what does it do to your mental state?
It might be kind of like a phew moment, like, oh man, that almost went wrong.
Yeah.
But I did clutch it out in the end. Could also be a confidence boost. And realistically speaking, this MK Knights tank strat, it seems to always go super late. It seems to never end before MK's level 5, before the Knights are crazy strong upgraded, before you get to 3 base, trying to oftentimes get to 4 base. So this is kind of, honestly, what you can expect nowadays on Terranar Stand. And Sock did play large parts of that game very well. But he has also noticed, okay, Alice, I cannot underestimate him.
Absolutely. I'm really curious if Alice is again playing the Warden, or will he go old school with like Demon Hunter, gambling for a Mountain King on Sock's side. But then there could be an answer in the Blood Mage on tier 2. Or if he's unfolding the Keeper play.
Could be a choice as well. Keeper, Archers, Marksmanship, Mass has been looking really strong recently. But this map is so good for Warden, dude. Echo Isles is so amazing for the Warden. Off to a good start in the early. And then again, as I said, no Zeppelin protection for the human. But the question is, how confident is he feeling with the Warden? If we think back to map 1, that was a horrible early game for the Warden.
Yep.
That was catastrophic. He didn't get a single peasant kill, didn't get any steals on the enemy creeps. He was forced to huddle and turtle in his base for the longest time. I would like to see a Warden here if she's well played, but the question is, will she be well played?
I mean, it can't really go worse, right? Than it was on Terra's stand. Pretty sure about that. Echo Isles always seems to be a tug of war over the shop, which is then going to be very important because you all know it, there's only one shop. Thank you very much, Kashoon, for the €25 donation. Hey, people! Love what you're doing for the community. Keep up the great work and best wishes from Southern Germany. By the way, you know, I want to plug Instagram a little here during WGL Summer, so we do the pre-show over there, and we also have some votes. And I kind of wanted to prepare this, but today the pre-show went a little longer. But you can vote over on our Instagram. Let me put that up real quick. So I want to know, I'm curious, how many people voted for Alice?
A few brave souls must be out there.
Where's the result? Oh, 7 people only. They got 6% of the votes went to Alice. That's a little... Why are there no Alice fans out there?
Well, I mean, he's coming into this, of course, as one of the bigger favorites. Not favorites, but underdogs. But perhaps after this series, he will have more fans. On map 1 already, he had a good performance to build a new fan base. And if he can now fight back, this would be the opportunity to do it.
Lawlight, interestingly, the favorite over 120. 10% voting for my man, Linguagua. And Moon, the clear favorite here today. Yeah, this is definitely the banger later 120 versus Lawlight.
Yeah. That's going to be amazing.
On paper, the rest seems pretty one-sided. But maybe Alice can fight back on his map now.
So, we are not supposed to join now?
No, that would be a little too hectic because they have to create accounts and stuff.
Okay.
So we continue this and hope for the best. It is Sock with the 1-0 lead, one step away from the winner bracket final in Group A of WGL Summer. Alice facing the lower bracket. This is the first map in a while that he loses on our stream. What was that tournament, by the way, where Alice surprised us so much? Not only the wild card, I think also CC Masters. The second edition, I think. He played really well in the round of 16 there. But then faced Lin, and Lin is a stop sign for a lot of talented players, of course.
Yeah, in the CC Master, he also, like in the second, he lost to Lin. In the third, he lost to Sock with a 0-2. But yeah, he is one of the second guard of Night Elf players. The rising talents, Moon and Lawlight, are standing above everyone else on NetEase.
Sock really excited. Can't suppress the yawning anymore. Sock said, if you're more handsome, that means you have more skill. Looking at this mullet from Alice, does he even stand a chance, or should he even stand a chance if that statement would be true?
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I think mullets are great.
Yeah. I mean, like, should he even stand a chance if that statement is great? True. You know, because mullet power. The power of the Tiger King.
That's a great source of inspiration. Yeah, I think you got a good point there.
Thanks. All right. We go into map number 2. We got... Oh, they learned and aligned the name tags to the actual sides of the map and to the resources. That's absolutely wonderful. In the upper left, we get a blocking Night Elf in the blue, making his return to WGL after 5 years. Not so successful yet, but standing his ground. It's Alice. And round of 8 in winter. His goal is the top 4 in the summer. For Africa Freaks, it is Sock. So Engine of War at the mercenary camp. Sick block. This delays the arrival of the peasant for such a long time.
He's still pulling the creeps. The Wisp is blocking the peasant on the way in, and that prevents the creeps from attacking the Ancient of War. Wisp will be sacrificed for this, but that is very well done by Alice. Keeps the Ancient of War safe.
That was pretty sick, man. Like, usually the first 2 minutes of the game are not that spectacular because you wait for the heroes, but that could determine the outcome of the early game right here.
Yeah, this was extremely important. Cannot be overstated how crucial this was. If this Ancient of War gets cancelled because the peasant pulls in the creeps, this whole early game for the Warden is out the window. Warden, a hero, can be very strong in the late game, but she needs the levels. And if she can't start creeping here, this is going to be a nightmare for her. So, absolutely masterful move by Alice, allowing him to play a competitive game now in the early.
Alright, and we do have a Warden versus Archmage battle this time. No Mountain King. So he doesn't have to deal with the clap late game. Of course, the Archmage can create different threats. With Water Elemental, creeping is pretty good. Enables mass casters with the Brilliance Aura. Can even go for Blizzard later on. Sock is scouting this, but Warden has Shadow Strike, so should be fine.
And the question is Sock gonna expand or not? If you expand on this map, it's very dangerous to then play against a counter expo, and the Night Elf is always gonna have more gold in that than you have in yours. Did you just steal the lasso with a footy? Oh yeah, he did.
Oh wow.
AM almost level 2.
Still level 2 for the Warden with that one kill. But yeah, again, not the fastest leveling Warden that I've ever seen.
AM now does reach his level 2 here. With that, the aura is unlocked. If we see a 4th farm, should definitely be an expansion. And by the number of peasants, it certainly seems like an expo. But he continuing to do a good job, harassing in the main, scouting things out, seeing what's up. And Sock moving south towards the natural. Will be expanding.
Taking care of this Wisp is Alice, and yeah, you're right. In true Todd spirit, finding a ring of protection here is Sock. But Warden is still quite far away from 3, getting that footman now. Oh, did he deny this one? Nah. Okay, still got it. Still needs level 3. And this is a little more time than Alice wants Sock to have.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good so far for Sock. That footy bought so much space for the expo to come up safely. AM's going to be level 3 in no time, and then I'm sure we'll be moving across the map aggressively, very likely with boots. But the Warden at that point should be level 3. Shadow Strike and Fan, perhaps the choice then. Double ring for the Warden. Well, not going to be too glad about those drops.
No mana increase, but level 3. Definitely happy about that. So, is it Blink and level 2 Shadow Strike to click down single units, or will it be the pure damage build with another escape mechanism like a staff to get out?
The AM stole the staff, so it's only the boots available for the Warden. Staff and Dust on the AM, potentially threatening some of these archers here, but with double Shadow Priest and Berserker available, it's hard for the AM to find an opening.
Yeah, just a little distraction. I mean, time that the Warden spends on the left-hand side of the map is time that the Warden doesn't spend in your economy. So it's already a win if you have level 3. Level 4 is always a nice add-on, but you will get it down the road. There's still a lot of experience for your second hero and your main hero on the right-hand side of the map. So I like the distraction.
Sock has like no lumber. His tier 2 tech isn't going to be that fast. He's mass producing peasants right now, so his lumber should climb up to 210 in a moment. And that's around where the tech is.
Humans and no lumber on Echo Isle, huh?
Classic combo.
I feel like I have heard that before.
Alright, Sok has the resources now, and boom, we saw it from the resources dropping. Goes for the tech here. That's another ring, by the way. 4 rings dropped already. In a game where we don't even see WFZ.
Nor Todd. Alright. What's next? What can he do with his tier 2 advantage? Dryads and Dispel will deal with the biggest threat there is so far, that is Water Elementals. But usually, this is always what I criticize about Colorful's play. The Warden is not in the economy. He's not preventing human progress.
Yeah, normally, of course, it's the best done before the Expo is standing, or when you're level 5, neither of which really now is the case. We don't see a crazy Lolai creep route either, with the quick turtles and shortly after the marketplace creep or something. So the Warden is still moving on in experience, yes, but not that fast. AM gets the Parry Up of Vitality, which is actually really nice against the Warden with his Shadow Strike build.
But that's no damage nor mana. How can that be good?
It's protecting you from the damage, though, you know.
Ah. Yeah,
both heroes here close to 4. And on tier 2, what's Sok gonna do? Is he gonna tech on to tier 3, or is he gonna go for a good old 70 supply tier 2 human?
It should be the norm, right? I wouldn't be too surprised to see this. Do we see the blacksmith already to support this with rifles?
Yeah, there was a blacksmith somewhere. Berserker stolen, by the way, here from Sok on the enemy merc camp.
More piercing damage.
That's militia already coming from the main.
What?
That's a super... What's this by Sok? He's going for the heal scroll upon daytime. At around 9 minutes, it becomes available. And that's a really impactful item this early in the game. Well, at all stages in the game, really.
Is he even finished with his tier 2 tech? Going for the Warden, the center of attention, down to 10%. There is a big invul potion and quite some mana, but the Warden's to go all the way back. And he's just towering this with an Alchemist second. Decent choice. Is good now for mass healing on the footman, and is also pretty good later.
No towers coming up yet, surprisingly. Shop first. That heal spray and those region scrolls later, and all these mercs. This is a super scary push. Where did this come from?
I don't know, just out of nowhere. He just finished tier 2.
Yeah, Sok is like, what the hell are you talking about? 70 supply push. I'm gonna go for a 45 supply push. That's where it's at.
That's the new thing, indeed. No tank shenanigans again, switching up the timings 100% from late game tanks into super early tier 2 aggression. And Alice is not ready for this.
I like this strategy as well. The longer it goes on Echo, the worse it becomes because of how soon your Expo runs out. The Warden finds some kills, but this invul isn't going to be lasting forever. The Alchemist heal spray is doing a marvelous job. The shop now standing, can go for region scrolls, can go for clarities. Towers are coming up. And Alice doesn't have the units necessary to break this. What he needs here is a second hero and, I don't know, bears or MDs or something.
Yeah.
Not just Dryads and Mercs.
He has 900 gold floating at 37 supply. That's not the ideal thing. Have to spend it. Maybe a little overwhelmed. Maybe a little shocked even. And all that Sok is losing is footman. He gets the expansion for it. And he can just expand here. That's exactly what he's doing. We saw this before on Echo Isles. 3 bases.
You got a shop there, 3 towers already. Let's expand. We've got the peasants there as well. And normally, this game, you know, is of course looking absolutely horrid for the Night Elf.
Yep.
But this is a Warden. This is a Warden fighting against a human tier 2 mass. As crazy as that is, if she gets level 6, this could still maybe be doable.
I don't know, man. Usually what the Warden does is to negate one of the expansions. So then from 2 base 1 base, or from 2 base 2 base, you go to 2 base 1.5 base. So you get the echo advantage with that. Of course she's super strong and takes out units, but if the human has the necessary economy, he just builds up to 80 again. And with 3 bases, you can't kill 3 bases at the same time.
If she gets to 6 though, she can quickly kill the units from the army and then use the spirits to break the 3rd base. And from there, it might be doable. But first she needs to get to level 5, get all the kills.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if he kills all the units, then he can kill 1 base and then maybe the other 2?
I can re-expand. If he gets level 5 and level 6, but he needs level 6.
Yeah.
It is not completely impossible. It's looking grim, of course. But this is a warden. If there's a hero in the game to do this, it's her.
That is true. But there's also AoE healing in this now with Heal Spray. Level 4 Archmage soon for more mana. There's not much left to creep anymore. I mean, there's a couple of pickups here for the Warden, okay? But was she ever in a peasant line? No, right? Sok just denied it by stealing the staff, and that changed everything.
Does get level 5 here. So she needs about 20 more kills for level 6.
Yeah. Workshop coming. For Mortars, I guess. Is he even going for casters? I'm not sure.
They could definitely use some priests for healing.
Would love to see a counterattack towards the base. If he has time for that. Okay, casters are coming.
Yeah, the natural really isn't well defended. The main, I guess, is going to be hard to breach. Sok's main base is pretty much walled off there. But the expo is... the natural expo is fairly open. Maybe that's a point of attack for Alice. Warden distracting.
Yeah.
And the thing is also, Sok's high supply, that's all footies and mercs. It's not the most efficient supply that you can have.
Yeah, the Warden is going to deal with the footmen relatively quickly, and then you can replace them. It's not the biggest of deals, but Sok has to move back if he wants to hold that base in the bottom right. And then the Warden can go with the Fan of Knives into the Echo line. I like that play by Alice. It's pretty smart.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a hard position now for Sok. What do? If you TP back to your expo, you know the Warden is going to be joining in, and then you may be losing that fight. Yeah, and this Knight of Army is easily destroying this economy. The Warden is slowly getting to level 6.
Oh, wow. 150 IQ play by Alice. Maybe the only chance to stay in this game and in this series to play it exactly like this. Where is Sok's reaction? He's doing structural damage, trying to keep Alice at 50, supply stuck again. But as you say it, closer and closer to 6.
There's only so much mana in this Knight of base. There's only so much juice. There's only so many mana pots. The goal here is to survive the Warden's mana. Big heal scroll there used. There's a second heal scroll. Oh no, that was the only heal scroll actually. And that's level 6 Warden.
Yeah.
She gets it.
And the base is gone. We saw a Chimera Roost there, by the way, by Alice. Super early. He's dealing with a couple of units, but the big threat is not now units anymore. You were right. Just kill everything and get level 6 and own.
Man, that's the one thing that's missing. She didn't have the shop anymore for potions. She didn't have enough moon juice anymore, excuse me, for the ult. Very close though is the Warden. Very, very close. But with the Bears now TPing back, this should be an easy hold, I guess, for Alice.
Here indeed, staffing onto the army, portaling back. And with that, retreat by Sok, who's down to 2 bases, has to replace the shop now. It's still 2 base, 1 base. It's not like Sok's game is destroyed now. It's not as good as it was before. The thing is, though, it's pretty easy to push the bottom left if you're Alice, because yeah, your base is right next to it. Alice will probably... Sok will probably not be there. And if he sits on the bottom left, this enables you to push either the main again or the bottom right again.
Yeah. This gyro here for Sok is absolutely crucial. He's going to scout the unit movement now. And he's going to know where to ideally move. If the Knight of Army moves out to attack one of his bases, he's probably gonna push into the main there. We see some spirits, but there weren't too many corpses in the main, so it's not the full 6, only 2.
Engine Protector to deal with the upcoming expansion in the bottom right. 2 heal scrolls for Sock against the Fan of Knives. But yeah, the spirits really don't do much. Never gathered them. Not much to find there. And Sock just needs to stall.
Oh, suddenly more spirits come in. I wonder where he found those corpses.
Maybe in his own base. Probably in his own base.
Sock patiently waiting still. Waiting for more supply, more casters. Maybe for a few of these spirits to run out. He's just kind of losing his units here.
The AP finished, but wow, we got a cannon tower against this. Nice.
Oh, whoa, that takes that one out really quick.
Rare to see in professional Warcraft to have a cannon tower. But alright, still enables the Warden to do this now. Won't help too much against the Town Hall, but workers eliminated.
That prompts the attack for Sock. Forcing the attention on the Night Elf main, forcing the Warden to retreat back. But she did her job. All the peasants are dead. This was extremely expensive for the human. And here comes the next push.
Can he do it this time? Warden is back with the staff again to hold, doing big damage, and just right-clicks this Archmage. Level 7 for her. Still no blink, but Shadow Strike level 3. How long will this mana last? It's a big supply lead for Sock, of course. And the Mortar Teams. 3 Mortar Teams now. He has to dance constantly. Level 2 Alchemist for Acid Bomb helps with Focus Fire. Ooh, big Fan of Knives in the back again. Heal Spray is absolutely necessary. And Sock feels the need to TP out again.
Yeah, he used both heal scrolls, didn't want to stay there anymore against the continuing Fan of Knives. Warden still had a mana pot. And the wonders of Warden level 6, boys. Being down by 2 bases doesn't have to be the end of the game.
On map 1, there was an easy solution to go for Clap and then he won from there. What's the solution to break him here? Like, we said this many times this year. It's one thing to survive a game, but then turn it around. I don't really see that happening for Alice up against 3 bases, but if you're Sock, how do you break your opponent's neck?
The win condition here for Sock is outmine him.
Yeah.
Hold on, survive until he has no more gold in the main, and obviously don't allow him to re-expand.
Yeah, you're on a pretty good way to that.
Now, he keeps on buying the heal scrolls, that's also crucial. Gold's of course still good for the human player. Would love to know how much gold is left in the mains. I would say like maybe 2k.
We don't have a timer here. Is it already 20 minutes of this game? Or 18? Still doing a little bit of damage to the Echo. This Chimera Roost, by the way, didn't do anything.
Yeah. Doesn't really have the resource, I guess, to support it. Then again, he has 1,000 gold.
Yep. Doesn't want to break upkeep. Needs it for items. Needs it on a lot of items. So, next fight. Bears. Will they find the concave? Will they bring the damage, or are they just distraction? They're definitely moved with a click and they find only a water elemental. The Warden does everything here. The rest is just decor. Nice. Mortar shots pretty much untouched as well. Good positioning by Sock so far. Bear staffed out. This is a lot of damage. Oh, Alchemist in trouble though. Sweet Invis cast to save him. There's no reveal. And the mortars are too safe. Can't reach them without blink, without dryads, no flanks. Nothing touches them.
Where are the spirits? Where's the Avatar of Vengeance? Did he forget to use his ult? It has 100% uptime on the Warden. That's the crazy thing about that ultimate. Well, one of the crazy things about that ultimate. It's a massive mistake by Alice, fighting here without his ult. There it is, finally used now, but that's freaking late.
And that was the last bit of mana. Anti-magic again. Can't afford another potion. Water Elemental is distracting so much that it's never supposed to happen. Alice seems to be falling apart here. A little 30 supply lead for Zog. And yeah, this is the way to end this. Just overwhelmed. Still 800 gold in the bank for Alice. And this concave is too big. The backline is too thick. Even the Warden can't rule this. GG! Zog in the winner bracket final of Group A.
Almost looked like a miracle game there. Being down 1 base to 3, the Warden tried her best and she did look pretty good. But Zog, even with the Warden so strong, was being pretty patient. He got the heal scrolls, came in with wave after wave of attack, and he knew once the mains were running out, this was going to be his game.
Damn, dude.
Gets the 2-0 here again, like he did in the CC Master Cup last month. And no surprise, no upset yet in the WGL.
Nope. And on Echo Isles, it wasn't really close, to be honest. Zog, he did this before when he feels comfortable on Echo Isles, and I always feel like this is not a sign of disrespect. This is a sign of how powerful you feel yourself. 3 base human on Echo. This is always a statement of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, you can't like just plan with 3 base. The plan is to kill his Expo with a early push, right? And I don't think that's like overconfident at all. He knows, okay, my early was really good. My tech is going well. I have good footies. I have mercs. I'm going for more mercs. And then he comes in with his 45 supply push with 1 heal scroll and the Alchemist. That's a strat that really doesn't transition well into strong late game if you're even on economy. But you kill his base, and then comes the added benefit of even being able to go to 3 base. And that can work. But it can only work if the early game is going so well, I guess.
Yeah. And despite the cool block by Alice, it did. Alice showing signs of nervousness here and there. He definitely has to stop that and step up his game in 2 days when he's fighting for survival in the lower bracket semifinal. And if we take a look at this bracket, Remo, it's not gonna be an easy task.
Yeah, absolutely. Alice gonna be going up against either 1-0 or Lawlight in the lower brackets. I mean, let's be honest. Lawlight and 1-0 here, whether they win or lose, they're going into the next match as the favorites there as well. They are 2 of the strongest players in the world for the last few years. Zog is also good. Alice is also pretty good, but we have 2 clear favorites here in this Group A, and that is 1-0 and Lawlight.
Yeah, the groups this time pretty balanced. We're gonna have an interview with Zog apparently on the Chinese stream. So if there's someone speaking Korean, feel free to translate.
Hello. Hello. 喂喂喂 Hello.
소리가 안 들리는데, 연아?
可以听到吗 Hello. 好，那么在刚才的2局比赛当中啊，其实还是有蛮多的问题想要问到 Zog 选手的。那其实我们看到2场比赛，第一场的地图是 TS， 然后 Zog 选手其实是用了一个这样的一个飞机坦克的这样的一个打法，而且打到比赛的大多数的时间段，其实是以4矿来对阵暗夜精灵2矿的一个态势。
I didn't hear anything, so what was up?
He just said hello, 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 and Zog apparently didn't hear him. So there was no interview, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, this happens, you know. We're all new to video calls and stuff in production, I guess. First interview of the tournament. Some stuff can go wrong. Oh boy, am I beyond hype for the next game.
Yeah, this is going to be sick. Lawlight versus 1-0, and I'm not overhyping that. Could be the grand final. These are the 2 players who probably have made it into the tier 1 rank most recently. Moon, Infi, TH Lin, they are no longer not beatable by these 2. They have established themselves, as far as I'm concerned, along with the all-time great gods and legends of Warcraft 3. And are going to provide us with a great match here, I'm pretty sure, unless 1-0 for some weird reason is messing around again.
We'll go into that in the preview talks to the upcoming second Winnerbracket Semifinal. There is a little story to tell of the games they played in the past. So, going into WGL, who are, like, can you put the players in groups? Maybe like the top favorites, players who can surprise us, and the ultimate underdogs?
Top favorite group, Moon.
Agreed.
And 1-0 and Infi, I'm gonna say.
Whoa. Okay. No Lin.
No Lin.
Ooh.
Second guard, Lin, Law Liot, TH. And that's it.
No Fly.
No Fly.
No X-Lord.
No X-Lord. On good ping, I would put X-Lord in that group, actually. But not without. And surprising who could have surprised us? Foggy, WFZ, and Colorful.
Okay. Linguagra apparently not playing this game. Anyway, we get some highlights of game 2 here to sum this up before we go into a tiny little break. Time for you to head over to our Instagram. Instagram.com/back2Warcraft. There's votes in our stories. Who do you think will win? Lawliot or 1-2-0? At the moment, the Korean Night Elf is leading. Let us know what you think. Or to kill some time, we also have the pre-show online on IGTV. Will be uploaded to YouTube. Lovely. Music so loud? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was the push to the end. Echo Owls just overwhelming. Remo, it is time to ultimately hype this up. We go into a little break, and then the second game of WGL Summer is coming. It's 1-0 versus Lawliot.